Have we reached a point where we're seeing too many superhero films and series? Um, so, but even though there's an abundance of Marvel movies on the horizon, or fresh DC projects coming up soon, um, it's important to remember that there are countless other comic book heroes, film characters, and television personalities that warrant equal recognition. And today, let's discuss some superheroes who deserve a lot more attention and buzzing. Uh, let's dive in. Nightwing, among all the DC characters who could have shown in a Batman movie, Nightwing was undeniably one with tremendous potential, appropriate title master. While many are familiar with Robin, Nightwing truly comes alive when he transforms from a sidekick into a full-fledged vigilante. Uh, and I have an affinity for such characters. Raven, having been raised on captivating fantasy films and series, it's hardly unexpected that I find myself drawn to Raven. Uh, and though her abilities are undeniably rooted in the supernatural realm, my fascination lies with a character embodying the essence of a dark sorceress. Um, Green Lantern. Let's avoid discussing the movie version of Green Lantern, as it falls short of portraying his true potential Green Lantern. And, if you know it's true, Dream. In the comics, Green Lantern exhibits incredible abilities that haven't been fully captured on screen or television, which is unfortunate because he deserves more recognition for these feats. Silk, um, absolutely. We're all familiar with the popular character Spider-Man and his remarkable movies, but let me tell you a bit about one of the lesser known Spider Folk, Silk. This character is a Korean American who, like Peter Parker, was bitten by a radioactive spider, and she's truly impressive. Um, I can only imagine how cool it would have been to see her in action during Spider-Verse, as she has some incredible spider abilities that help her combat crime. Korg's, right? Right? Korg might not fit the typical definition of a superhero like Thor, but he proved incredibly useful in the Marvel films where he made appearances. He exhibited strength, uh, utilized it effectively, and had a knack for uh, being humorous without any effort. And I personally believe he deserves to be an Avenger. Um, what do you think about that? Anyone else share my opinion? Scarlet Scarab. So far, we've only encountered the Scarlet Scarab in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, specifically in the series Moon Knight. Eagerly anticipating a second season of this show. Um, but in the first season, Layla was the one who wore those wings. Um, as of now, it remains uncertain if the character will reappear in the MCU. If she does, her superhuman strength, speed, and other powers would have greatly enhanced the storyline. Wonder Man. It's rumored that a TV series featuring a character known as Wonder Man is in development, and several actors have been chosen for roles. Um, However, I must admit, I'm unsure if this project will actually come to fruition. Essentially, Wonder Man embodies the typical superhero traits: immense strength, lightning speed, practically divine abilities. Yet his story remains largely unknown to most of us. Moon Knight, Moon Knight. It's surprising, isn't it? Given that there's an entire TV series centered around this character, one would expect more buzz about Moon Knight. However, apart from Marvel enthusiasts online, I seldom come across conversations about him, despite his fascinating powers and captivating backstory being showcased in the MCU only through his series. He hasn't received much attention elsewhere in the universe. His character is quite intriguing, indeed. Sunspot, in the realm of the X-Men, there are numerous mutants who should receive greater recognition. Yet one I'd like to highlight is Sunspot. His abilities are all solar oriented, which is quite intriguing since we don't encounter this type frequently. He stands out as an exception in a world dominated by superheroes, but he often gets overlooked in conversations. America Chavez. I'm eagerly anticipating that the Young Avengers will materialize, as America Chavez would make a fantastic member. She was impressive in the video, but it's disappointing that she's only made a single appearance so far. Here's hoping for more substantial roles for her in future projects. Nova. As a dedicated cinephile, Nova is unlike any other character I've encountered. He's part of an elite space policing unit known as the Nova Force. That's right, they work in space. But what really sets him apart is his extraordinary abilities. Made He can zip around at speeds faster than light itself and hold on to your seats. He can unleash pulses of gravitational energy. Frankly, I'm not quite sure what that entails, but it's enough to make me shiver. No wonder a movie project about him is in the works. Squirrel Girl. It's understandable if you're taken aback by the concept of a character named Squirrel Girl not receiving more attention, given that it might seem unclear what her special abilities could be. However, let me assure you, Squirrel Girl is quite formidable. She has sharp claws that enable her to scale any surface as effortlessly as a squirrel. Additionally, she has a tail that serves not only as a protective barrier, but also as a weapon. And yes, she can communicate with the animal from which she derives her name, an unusual ability that proves incredibly useful for her. Mr. Miracle, and picture this. You find yourself in a situation where you're trying to flee from a crowded party or a burning vehicle. With Mr. Miracle around, there's no need for worry because he can extricate himself from literally anything. Yeah, even the jaws of death itself. This man is indomitable, and if ever engaged in a battle, I can only envision that he would be on the victorious side. And let me tell you, he's not just tough, he's also exceptionally intelligent, as one would expect from such a remarkable character. Stargirl, and differing from numerous others on this roster, Stargirl isn't simply a super-powered individual And instead, her abilities stem from two unique sources: the staff imbued with cosmic energy, which possesses a life of its own, and a cosmic belt. These items bestow upon her extraordinary powers, transforming her into an exceptional superheroine. Despite the release of a TV series, it unfortunately had a brief run. Um, Now, as a kid, I was blissfully unaware that Static Shock was anything more than an entertaining cartoon series. It wasn't until I grew up that I discovered the character was based on the comic book hero Static Actress. What I adored about him was his electrifying powers, which he gained after being exposed to a chemical during a fight. Thomas, he's not just intelligent, but also effortlessly skilled with his abilities, making him irresistible to breathe. Um, as much as I cherish what I've already seen, I can't help but yearn for more adventures featuring this electrifying character. Iron Fist, instead of discussing the Netflix adaptation of Iron Fist, I'd rather focus on something else because I feel it doesn't do justice to his abilities. Um, to me, a martial arts superhero like Iron Fist embodies an extraordinary um, level of power and skill. And unlike other heroes, he derives his powers from his own life force. Um, Watching him fight is truly mesmerizing. It's graceful, precise, and leaves you completely awestruck, much like watching a ballet performance. Uh, Miss Marvel, I thoroughly enjoyed the Miss Marvel TV series and believe Kamala should have a larger role in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Um, Given her father's appearance on Daredevil Born Again, it seems they are focusing on her character. So I eagerly anticipate seeing much more of this remarkable young woman wielding those incredible cosmic powers. Uh, Dazzler, and I recall a time when there was talk circulating that Taylor Swift might be chosen for the role of Dazzler in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Though this didn't materialize, it seems plausible, given she's a popular musician who manipulates sound and can transform it into energy bursts. Picture her standing next to a jet engine. Wow. Um, the louder the sound, the more destructive her blasts could potentially be. Quite a sight, isn't it? Uh, She Hulk. Um, I'm committed to supporting She-Hulk for all eternity, regardless of what others might think about the Marvel TV series featuring her. And The show was fantastic, and her character is simply outstanding. She's as powerful as the Hulk, has a great sense of humor, and interacts with the audience in the comics, which I find utterly engaging. How audience is by book with the next sense of the public. So let's all embrace her awesomeness, if you don't mind. uh, Green Arrow. In the past, the Arrowverse, which included many DC Comics characters, was quite popular on the CW. However, Green Arrow deserves even more recognition because he doesn't possess any superpowers. Instead, he's an expert archer and combatant. An incident involving a shipwreck transformed him into this formidable figure. Uh, I wholeheartedly support him. Um, Sleepwalker, uh, when compiling this list, I was aware it would feature some intriguing alien characters worthy of greater recognition. And Sleepwalker certainly falls into that category. And essentially, he's a being who delves into the realm of dreams, which can be quite unsettling. And once connected to an individual, he can traverse the physical world. Black Knight, although the Black Knight character appeared in the movie Eternals.
It's unlikely we'll see him again anytime soon.
His powers stem from an ebony blade, which was handcrafted by none other than the renowned wizard Merlin CG. As such, the Black Knight is quite formidable. Hawkgirl, in the movie Superman Legacy, Hawkgirl makes an appearance, but we'd love to see her featured more prominently. And regardless of the version you prefer, she consistently displays strength, flight abilities, and remarkable powers. Moreover, she is unquestionably a valiant hero who is steadfast in her commitment to protect others. And Luke Cage, Luke Cage certainly had his own TV series, but I can't help wishing there was even more of him in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. He's got a unique spin on the super soldier theme. Instead of the same serum, he underwent experiments while in prison that gave him extraordinary abilities, making him superhuman. It's a mystery to me why we don't get to see more of him. The way he fights is absolutely intimidating. Um, um, Absolutely. We adore the transformation of a swamp dweller into a renowned Marvel character. Um, Man Thing came about when an individual accidentally ingested a faulty super soldier serum while submerging into a bog imbued with cosmic energy. This is essentially his origin story. And yes, he lives up to the creepiness that one would anticipate from him. Uh, Dark Hawk's Dark Hawk is quite intriguing, as his abilities seem to resemble those of the Blue Beetle in some fashion. And when he acquires an amulet which transforms his physical form into a fully armored alien exosuit upon activation, allowing him to combat criminal activities effectively, this suit endows him with extraordinary powers, making him an engaging superhero. Cypher, among numerous X-Men characters, Cypher undeniably stands out as a prime candidate for inclusion on our list. His unique ability to comprehend all languages and decipher ancient texts makes him an exceptional figure. In any universe, such a talent would prove indispensable, as it allows him to interpret the intentions of adversaries or decode complex computer codes and programming. Escape invaluable in today's world. Uh, Long shot. Have you ever felt like your fortune is always on the downside? Let me introduce you to Long Shot, a character from X-Men comics who can potentially flip that around in an instant. His abilities are based on probabilities. Think of him as someone who can manipulate the odds of something occurring. To top it off, he's incredibly swift. So not only does he have the power to influence luck, but he also runs to breakneck speeds. Frog Thor, because he was once a man turned into a frog who bravely protected his fellow amphibians, earning himself a legendary status. Somehow he stumbled upon a shard of Thor's hammer and transformed into Frog Thor, an authentic superhero of. Indeed, I eagerly await to see him in the upcoming movie. Animal Man. Animal Man is remarkably impressive. And what intrigues me about this character is that he doesn't have to transform into animals to utilize their abilities, and instead he can tap into them directly. This unique talent, in my opinion, is incredibly fascinating. And I'd be thrilled to see it further developed. Captain Britain, I'm keeping my fingers crossed that Henry Cavill will somehow end up as Captain Britain in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. If you're not familiar with him, let me explain. He's not just a British version of Captain America or the. He's a powerful protector who possesses superhuman abilities, can fly, safeguards Earth, and is an extraordinary hero who defends the universe at large. Mantis in the Marvel Cinematic Universe films, Mantis has made numerous appearances, yet seldom do discussions revolve around her remarkable powers. The on-screen character possesses the ability to sense emotions, induce sleep, among other capabilities, but the comic book version boasts martial arts prowess, enhanced skills, and an array of just like any other being, she requires her flowers as well. There are countless other fantastic superheroes waiting to be discussed. But for the moment, let me share some of my top picks. Currently, I'm yearning for a new superhero binge watching session, as I could use an extra boost of heroic power. And